Why is it all we can ever see in our own lives and the world around us is negativity? It's simple. It's because all we ever put our focus on is negative things within our life and in the world. So if you have negativity and positivity and you have your focus and all your focus is just going in one direction, well then that grows and manifests. It ends up taking over our actual minds itself, that all we can ever see is negative aspects of life. But the same applies if you start to try and change your mindset and you start to try and look at things in a more positive light and seeing the beauty in the world and the wonderful things actually we all have in our lives, and to be actually grateful for those. And then that starts to be how you see the world and how you view your life. One of the big changes I've made in my life over the past year is actually changing my mindset to how I view things, from being a negative person to a positive person. And a good way of doing that there that I have found is really practicing gratitude. So gratitude, when I sat down to do it, I practice gratitude when I start to journal in the morning. So I practice it every morning. I'll write down 3 things I'm grateful for that day. But to really get the most out of it, you really need to elaborate on each of those things. So say, for example, I write down, I am grateful for my wife, my house and my cat. I don't have a cat, my dog. It's very vague and you don't actually feel what it is. And if you're only grateful for material things, then I think you need to look deeper inside. But so if you were to say, I am grateful for my partner, my husband, my wife, whatever it is, then follow up whatever you're grateful for with maybe a couple of sentences, maybe 3, 4, 5 sentences. So if I were to say I'm grateful for my wife, I would then say, well, I am grateful because she has supported me at everything I've wanted to do and been a rock for me through the toughest times in my life. She makes wonderful banana bread and she's an amazing mother to our children. And actually, you can feel that there gratitude when you're actually writing that down. So that can go about anything. And even when I look at what started me in my journey to change my mindset, to change who I was and how I viewed the world, was my dad's death and watching him die from cancer. And as I've spoke about in Mark Toner podcast when I was on episode 2 and episode 8, and even in my own videos recently, that was a horrendously difficult time. But now I see aspects of that as a positive, because if we were to put all our own problems into a big jar or a big bowl, you'd end up taking most of your problems back out when you actually see the difficulties other people have in their lives. So my father died and I watched him die and I was 37 and I really wanted him to stay a bit longer to watch his grandkids, etc. grow up. But there'll be somebody out there who will say, I'd give everything to have spent 37 years with my father because he wasn't there when they were younger, or he died when they were a kid, or whether they were a teenager. So while that's my tragedy, somebody else is looking at it going, well, that wasn't a blessing that you got 37 years. You know, so Gandhi said, I'm quoting Gandhi now, I was sad when I had no shoes until I seen a man with no feet. And that is so true. We all have things to be grateful for. Our tragedies are someone else's blessing. You know, so it's just how we begin to view things. Gratitude is the single biggest factor, I think, to help you develop your mind to start to see the world in a better light, in a more positive light. And it's something I'm really passionate and feel really strongly about. And if we can all implement gratitude and actually really feel it and write it down, and from the smallest of details to the biggest of details, it doesn't make a difference. It's if that's a recurrent practice day after day after day, that's how you'll begin to feel. That's how you'll begin to view the world and view life, that there is a lot of wonderful things out there. So give it a try. It doesn't matter what's going on. Somebody could say, oh, it's well and good saying you're grateful that you have a wife who's doing all these wonderful things. I'd love to meet somebody because I'm single. Well, you've got to think about it the other way. There's somebody in a relationship with a husband or a wife who's in a toxic environment. They're being controlled both physically and emotionally, mentally, being abused by their partner. things. It's about just taking a positive slant in everything that we have going on in life, and things will start to look a lot better. Our mindset change from that negative shite to a more positive view on things. So hopefully it's been a major factor in me. So always remember two things: be grateful for what you have, because there's always somebody else out there, and be kind, give back. One of the big reasons, be compassionate. One of the big reasons I'm doing these videos, and or the actual sole reason, the reason I'm doing these videos, I've spoken Mark Toner's podcast, and I have developed my talk that I'm going to be giving, is that I want to be able to put content and messages out there that maybe somebody will take something from and think, do you know what, actually that's really helped me, because that's my way of trying to learn from what's happened to me, to give something